guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm here at my undisclosed location once again, and we have something very special. This is a 2020 Toyota Avalon TRD, and what I want to do is I really want to focus on, is this that full-size sedan, performance-wise, that you should be jumping on, that really is going to be a unique standout from the rest of the crowd. But let's talk a little bit about the Toyota Avalon. So the Toyota Avalon slots in above the Camry. It's actually their largest sedan. For many years, people felt it was a little bland. Well, bland you cannot use as an adjective for this Avalon TRD, because Toyota has decided to take some of that racing development, that's what it stands for, Toyota Racing Development, and inject it into this 2020 Avalon. Now, performance comes in many different ways, and one big question that we're looking at, is this truly a performance sedan? But one thing is for certain, it's nice to see Toyota looking at their vehicles in their lineup and thinking about the enthusiasts, because at the end of the day, driving this Avalon is going to surprise you. So let's go ahead, dive in and see what makes the Avalon TRD that racing developed Avalon. Right off the bat, love the color, love the style. So this whole front fascia is going to be specific to the Avalon TRD. You have your LED headlights. Love the shape of the actual housing and the way that it melts nicely into the front fascia. Massive, massive side air curtains, very aggressive. Like I said, bland, save that for your refrigerator. You're definitely not calling this car bland. Now, you have some gloss black that drops down into a low lip spoiler. This is functional. So all the aero that you see on this vehicle, what makes it special is that it's actually functional. As you come across the large grill area, now I know a lot of people are calling this a catfish or a whale mouth. It really is showing the connection between Toyota and its sister brand, Lexus. Remember, Lexus is that premium brand of Toyota. I like the way it's kind of blurring the lines a little bit. The gloss black really looks sharp with this particular color. You have your open area down here for cooling, and you can see just how far the extensions are on both sides of those lower lip corners, but very low, very wide. This car actually sits almost an inch lower than your standard Avalon. As we go up onto the hood, look at the body lines. I like what they got going on here. So they focused on the front fascia, which is unique to the TRD. Up onto the hood, they curve back and melt right into the fender and into that A-pillar. Now, as we come around the bend, this is where we could really start to talk about some performance, because aerodynamics bring you some performance, but definitely here is an area a lot of people overlook: wheel and tire setup. So you have these Michelin tires wrapped around these gorgeous 19-inch forged wheels. So these wheels, flat black. Forged means that they are lighter and stronger than a cast aluminum wheel. With them being forged, you're saving 3.5 pounds. That's 3.5 pounds each corner of this car. You're gonna have those nice bright red calipers. Now, the bright red calipers don't do anything performance-wise, but they are using a unique performance pad that is separate and different from your standard Avalon. You're gonna get those Toyota Racing Development springs to help lower it about an inch, and really just fits the whole character of this car. It changes the whole environment of where you're gonna be carving those corners like it's Thanksgiving Day Turkey Fest. But as we go down the side with the TRD, you're gonna get black mirror caps, little bit of chrome, just a little bit, because there's some shiny bit on the front, so they bring some shiny bit into the mirror cap and housing. Down below, you have the side sill extension, or the side skirt, that is a functional piece, and I like the way it drops down and then kicks up right at the rear. I even love the belt line, the way the belt line kind of curves down and then fades away, and then you have a continuation of that rounded upper belt line that goes all the way towards the rear. This one does have a sunroof. I know some of you who have seen the Camry TRD video, there's no sunroof on the Camry TRD. You get a sunroof on the Avalon TRD. Keep working your way back. Love that nice kind of flared out fender look. And then when we get to the rear, the tail end of the business, this is gonna be a unique to the TRD Avalon trunk lid spoiler. Nothing too aggressive, not as high or as race car-ish as on the Camry TRD, but really just subtle, looks great, and it is functional. We drop down. I love the LED taillights and the way they kind of just blend in across the center section. Blacked out on the badges, Avalon badge, and then I love this really super aggressive rear diffuser, and you're gonna get that TRD catback exhaust, gonna give us a little bit more sound coming from the V6, but since we're talking about V6, let's go ahead and pop the hood and see what we're working with power-wise. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on this 2020 Avalon TRD. You have the hood struts to hold that hood open. Underneath the hood is gonna be that tried and true 3.5 liter V6. The zonk of the day is gonna be there's no extra horsepower. So if you were hoping that TRD stood for extra horsepower, on this particular model it does not, but you do have that great 301 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque, and like I said, you're getting the TRD forged wheels, which are lighter. You have larger front brake rotors, 13-inch front brake rotors. You're also gonna get underneath this car underbody bracing that's gonna stiffen up from front to rear the chassis of the Avalon TRD. The car weighs around 3,600 pounds. And I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, what are the performance numbers? 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds, quarter mile in 14.8, a top speed of 130 miles an hour, MPGs 22 in the city, 31 on the highway. It would have been nice to have opened up the hood and seen at least a little bit more attractive engine cover, but I do like the idea of how, when it comes to handling and braking, they took care of the business from TRD. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this Avalon and see what that catback exhaust sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Avalon TRD. This color, it's called Supersonic Red. And I don't know if you remember a song from the 1980s called Supersonic, but I used to jam out to that back when I was a kid. But anyways, enough talking about my early childhood. I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, I'm digging the Supersonic Red. I'm with you on, hey, I like the style. I'm wanting to get behind the wheel and figure out what that braking and handling performance is all about. How much is it? The way it sits, the way it's optioned, you're looking at an MSRP of around $45,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panels, very, very classy. I like the touches. Now, there's a lot of dark material, but I think it's working on this TRD. So you have some nice red contrast stitching, a little bit of silver trim, that nice soft material all across the armrest, the top portion of the door. There's a little bit of this, I don't want to call it faux carbon fiber at the top of the door panel, but it's got a nice unique look to it. And if you work your way down to the pocket in the door, you're gonna have plenty of room. You could actually probably fit about 4 Twinkies side by side and a nice bottle of milk to wash it all down. We get to the dash. I love the style. I actually like the interior on the Avalon better than on the Camry. Just the flow of it, how it comes from the door panels, all soft material. There's that nice texture. I'm really digging this. I'm glad that they use this. The way the silver goes right into the trim for the AC. You got your TRD stitching. Push the button. There is your glove box. Now the glove box is on the smaller side, but definitely you could probably take a box of Twinkies, maybe a box and a half, and get them in there. Here is something that I like a lot more than what's on the Camry. Now, it's interesting because it's not like an iPad style, but this whole thing is all one unit. You have a massive 9-inch infotainment system screen with navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. This one has the JBL optional sound system, which is nice. We go back to our menu. There's all your different options, real clear. You could actually change the colors. If you don't like the TRD red, you could actually change the colors. We drop down, you have your push button start on this TRD, of course. You have your dual climate control, heated seats, but no ventilated seats. So that is a zonk. I would like to see ventilated seats at $45,000. But I do like the way all the controls are nicely integrated, very simply, very clean. Large little area down here. It's actually got soft material, and what's interesting is that if you watch this, you actually open it up So you have wireless charging in here, or if you need to hide some snacks, put them in there. If your wife's saying stay away from the snacks, don't even tell her about the compartment. That could be your little secret. TRD shift knob with the stitching. This is going to control that 8-speed automatic transmission. You do have 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal, Sport. So if you want to hug a palm tree, put it in Eco. I don't advise that because they're very, very prickly and they will cut you. Normal, who wants to be normal? I'm going with Sport. And get ready for the drive, because that's how we're going to show the performance with this particular Avalon TRD. Now what's interesting is you have a round cup holder with the nice soft material, but then you have this squared off round cup holder. So very interesting design, but you do have enough room for 2 drinks. Love the softness. This is soft as a big box of Charmin that people are hoarding. This is how soft it is. You push the button, look at that. Skittles tray, taste the rainbow, load them up. You got 3 USBs and an aux jack, a little bit of felt lining, and just to prove it to you, there's the felt lining. Really nice and soft. It isn't gonna scratch your gold iPhone 46. Let me put this all back before I forget. Close that down. Seats, TRD specific. I love the embroidery, the red stitching, the nice microfiber suede material, and the rest all leather. Really gives it a nice touch. Here is your Avalon Key Fob. I am gonna zunk the key fob. I wish it said TRD on it at least, and I wish it was a little bit better quality. I mean, Toyota builds these very reliable cars. I feel like if I drop this once, it's gonna shatter in a million pieces. So just something to think about. And then of course, like I told you outside, I'm not lying, there's our sunroof, nice standard size sunroof. You have a frameless auto dimming mirror, which is also a nice touch, and a great environment really to be behind the wheel of a vehicle in. So speaking of the wheel, why don't you come over to the business end? I'll show you behind it in this Avalon TRD. All right guys, business time behind the wheel of this Avalon. How do I know I'm in an Avalon? It reminds you right here. You even have the Avalon TRD floor mats. Those are good for about 5 extra horsepower. And then you even have the brushed aluminum pedals. I like what they've done there with the setup in that foot box. Very large dead pedal as well. You do have full electric control, easy to get to with that lower lumbar. Steering wheel, I like the thickness and I like the red stitching. I just wish they would do something in this blank area. Just give me TRD. Just give me a TRD, please. But I like the silver. The buttons are nice and flat black, easy to figure out, easy to get to. You're not going to get fingerprints. You do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel, and I promise you that's how I'm going to be shifting this camera, almost said it, Avalon TRD as I take you down the twisty bits. And then we had a 9-inch over here. You have a 7-inch display, so clear, so crisp, right in the center. You could toggle through a cornucopia of information. Of course, you're gonna have, let me go back. You have your Toyota Sensing 2.0, which you could turn on and off, different things. You have your analog tach, speedometer, fuel gauge, and coolant gauge. The only thing I'm missing is where is my TRD logo? Somewhere on those gauges, but still perfect line of sight out the window. Let's see how your passenger is gonna be feeling as you're carving those corners like the turkey that you're gonna eat during Thanksgiving. Let's see how they're gonna enjoy it. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we're inside the back seat area. What's nice is you have LED interior lights, which to keep this back area nicely lit as you get in and out. You have the nice material all the way behind, and you have 2 pockets. So you can keep your own Twizzlers, your own Slim Jims, your own back scratcher on your side, and I'll keep mine over here. We have 2 rear AC vents and 2 USBs, very nicely done. Seating position, I got plenty of leg room, plenty of headroom. Everybody in this car gets the nice bright red seat belts, TRD specific, and even a nicely done armrest with the stitch work, 2 cup holders, and then look at this. You could actually take some Snickers and actually just stand them up in there one by one as you're going down the Dragon in North Carolina. That sounds like a dream to me. Speaking of a dream, let's go see how dreamy the trunk area space is in this Avalon TRD. All right, guys, time to check out how much trunk space. Now remember, this is bigger than the Camry, this is bigger than an Accord, and this is really where it shows. Nice, wide, large opening. You have your Avalon TRD floor mats. That's another extra 5 horsepower. You can fold down those seats, and they're real simple by pulling these levers, which are gonna do the 60-40 split so you can get larger objects, but this proves you don't need an SUV. You can get an Avalon, you can get the TRD, have your cake, eat it too. But why don't we get to the best part? Enough talking about this Avalon TRD. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go rip it through the twisty bits. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Toyota Avalon TRD. Right away, I actually like how I feel behind the wheel of this Avalon TRD. The seats are comfy. There's not a ton of lateral support, and what I mean by that, the bolstering, but they are comfortable. And I like the way that the cabin, especially the cockpit area, is arranged more so in the Avalon compared to the Camry, believe it or not. That nice large touchscreen, so easy to reach, so easy to see with the navigation and everything. And just looking out over the hood, you have a nice view. Visibility is great out the back. Visibility is a piece of cake. Side mirrors work awesome. And the thickness of the steering wheel, it feels right on point. All right, guys, we're gonna do a little bit of daily driving here. What you would normally do on your commute to work, pick up the kids, those types of things. I'm happy to report that the TRD springs and the Avalon TRD is sitting lower. It's not a stiff, super stiff ride. I mean, you're gonna feel a little bit more of the road, but it's not anything that's jarring on your kidneys or abdomen or something like that. So you're still gonna have that nice ride in the Avalon. Tons of room in here, and I really just like the way everything is set up, especially the gauges. It's nice to still have analog gauges. Everything doesn't have to be full digital yet, at least, and they're easy to read, which is nice. Sitting here behind the wheel in this slower moving traffic, the seats are comfy. They don't have a ton of lateral support. There's not super high bolstering, which some of you may love. This being a TRD, I am gonna zonk that. I wish that the bolstering was just a little bit larger, especially when we get to the twisty bits. I think that's obviously where we're going to notice that I'm gonna have to brace myself behind the wheel, but everything is so easy to get to. I love how high the armrests are, especially on the center console and the door. The leather in here, or leatherette material, is so soft, and just, it feels super comfy inside this Avalon TRD. You get that growl, a little bit of a growl from that TRD catback exhaust, and it's amazing how many people their neck snap when you're driving this thing, especially with the color combo of this particular one. But tons of headroom, and that's with a sunroof. Remember, if you go Camry TRD, you don't get the sunroof, so it is nice that they gave you the sunroof on the Avalon TRD. And if you're worried about seeing any spoiler out the trunk or anything like that, no, it's out of the way, and you're gonna still get nice clear visibility out the back. But even over this, I'm gonna kind of on purpose go over this ripped up pavement here. Very, very smooth. All right, guys, I have it in manual shift mode. I'm gonna use those paddles on the back of the steering wheel. I took the shifter and just put it over to the left. We're gonna go through these twisty bits and see how that engineering from TRD has changed the whole personality of this Avalon. But on throttle, little bit of traction loss into second gear. On the brakes, back on throttle. On the brakes again, downshift. I like the way there's no body roll whatsoever. They really handled that portion. But on the brakes, downshift, downshift. A little bit of glare from the sun, but we're doing all right. And it's really hooked up. On the brakes, ooh, nice pedal. You really can feel the better steering that you have with those BBS, with those forged BBS wheels. Having the less rotating mass really is gonna quicken up the steering, and it's actually quite surprising how flat this thing corners. The car weighs around 3,600 pounds, and really tracks well, especially for being front-wheel drive car. All right, guys, let's see how she handles through a tight right-hander on throttle. I'm in third gear. Just gonna let the RPMs carry me towards the corner. On the brakes, downshift into second. Nice, look at this, very nice. No drama. No drama from your baby's mama. Wow, that actually felt really good in that tight right-hander, but super smooth. The power delivery super smooth. The torque curve is very linear. Obviously being naturally aspirated, that helps assist with that whole setup on that. So it really does allow the whole driving to be smooth, nice and smooth. But let's see how these twisty bits go. Back on throttle, I'm in third gear. On the brakes, back on throttle. Here we go. These are my favorite twisties right here. See how she does. Wow, look at this. Oh God. Decreasing radius, downshift, back on throttle. Nice. Here we go, lifting the throttle, back on. Wow. Little bit of traction loss, but overall, I'm telling you right now, the compression and rebound of the suspension really allows you to soak up any little tiny bump and just evens the whole road out for you, where you're able to stay confident, hit your marks, and you're in an Avalon. That really, to me, is what makes this thing something to giggle about, is that you're in an Avalon that could cut some corners, man. Really nice. Guys, let's do a little bit more. We're here, might as well, right? So drop it down to third, on throttle. Here we go. Fourth. Wow, look at this. Just lifted a little bit. I didn't even use the brakes there. On the brakes a little bit. Back on throttle. On the brakes. Downshift. Here we go. Here we go. Little bit of a singing tire is a happy tire, I promise you that. This is a good one to see how she carries the speed through this left-hand bend. On the brakes. Nice. The car carries the speed so well. Really was not using the brakes that much just to keep the momentum going. And that's the thing is that without extra horsepower, you can carry that momentum with this car and really just slice through those turns like pumpkin pie from Thanksgiving Day. I love pumpkin pie and I love slicing through that. Really enjoyed slicing through those turns back there. All right, guys, one last time for you, one last time for me. On throttle, on the brakes. Wow, it brakes so nice and straight. Back on throttle. Look at this. This is a front-wheel drive Avalon I'm in. Crazy, really crazy. See how we go through this left-right here. Look at this. Wow. That was awesome. That was awesome. I'm sorry, but that was awesome. To handle that left-right transition like that, stay so planted, that's what you're paying for. You're getting that kind of performance. But see, I guess the thing is that it takes that knowledge, that work from you to make it happen. It can't just happen from having extra horsepower. But from a handling perspective, super awesome. And then at the end of the day, you know what? You put it back into automatic mode, and now we're using that 8-speed automatic. Everything is easy to get to in here. And that's the thing, is that with Toyotas, they really lay out the interior super, super well, that no matter what Toyota you're getting into, whether it's a Corolla, a Camry, a Tacoma, a Tundra, everything makes sense where it is. And you're gonna get all that great safety technology, that Toyota Sensing 2.0, keep you safe, and you can have fun, and you can pick the kids up from school, and you have a car that definitely stands out. If you want something that stands out and is unique, these are supposed to be super rare. You don't see Avalon TRDs. I've seen a few Camry TRDs, but the Avalon TRDs I just haven't seen. So you're definitely gonna get something a little extra special as well. But hopefully this has been beneficial to prove to you that this thing can handle and it can brake and it does it well. We're gonna get back to our undisclosed location. You know where that's at. No, you don't, because it's undisclosed, in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another fun day here on Rady's Rides with an amazing Toyota product. Definitely gonna thank Corey, Zach, and the rest of the crew over at Toyota for letting us have access to this Avalon TRD press fleet vehicle. I hope I was able to show you that performance comes in many different forms, many different ways, and if you know what you're doing, Toyota has taken an Avalon and really has given it some extra performance that allow it to handle and drive like no other Avalon that has come before it. And really, there's not many full-size sedans that have that kind of engagement. But if it's cars like these that you want to keep seeing on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. I got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, out here in the sun, sweating it up. He's wearing all black just to sweat a little bit more. So thank you, Tom, for your hard work and dedication. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.